it like it's hot.
The sword will not be able to pierce someone else's. Blows also will not fail, they have no effect at the same instant. This is a snake attacked him. He began to defend himself with his broken sword. I need a very fast attack with all his weight. It's also time for me to lower this guy's defenses. But how do I deal with this thick scale? He said he tried to damage his scales, but it was in vain. He tried to dodge this monster, but his attacks reached him. I thought it got a lot stronger, but it's not enough. And how strong do I have to be to defeat him? I want to run away from my past. When I was weak, the weakest hunter in the whole world is you. Yes, it is so. Lately rumors have cooled. You heard something about it? Yes, it seems if people who are happy to do such things because they want rumors try to put more effort. Well, I understood he was remembering the past. This nickname stuck because I'm weak, but don't show off your weakness. I know how weak I am myself. Strength is strength that grips your head and can force you to retreat. Whatever your opponent does, sheer strength will crush you. And fear will make your knees bend and your toes dig into the ground. But to tell you the truth, I didn't think that someone as weak as you could be of any use. He told himself, I must become stronger, and then immediately fought the snake monster. I'm here to become stronger. He attacked him. Compared to that monster, compared to that fear, this monster is nothing. In the hospital, they began to worry that he had not yet returned to his room. Yes, he left yet in the morning. Why did he not return even after sunset? The doctor asked. He is already almost healthy and will be discharged soon. We cannot be sure about the hunters. We have to stabilize it indoors. He said that in high-class hunters, the rich and lower classes don't get much money and are in constant danger. I don't know why they do this job. It's terrible to see hunters working in such conditions. Why? I wonder what they're doing inside the dungeons. The wounds they get are not normal for humans. They're completely on a different level from patients who get into accidents. It is amazing that they are still alive in such conditions. So isn't it a miracle that they were able to return from underground? Even the weakest hunters are strong, and compared to ordinary people, they are monsters themselves. Jin-Woo received a notification that his level had increased. It seems that I have become a little stronger, he said while sitting on the floor in the defeated dungeon boss. My clothes are torn to shreds, the sword is also broken, and my whole body is aching with pain, but I got a better blade than the one that Mr. Kim Sang had. The dagger is made of a fong and not of bones. The characteristics of this blade are twice as my past blade, and it also has a paralysis effect. Items are poison Rasaki, but compared to it, it is a bit inconvenient to use. I'll sell it better. Alert, boss has been destroyed. The interior of the dungeon will be returned to normal. And the same moment the dungeon began to disappear, everything was over. He left the dance. I don't know what time it is. Who are you? Military weapons asked him. And how did you get out of there? Didn't you hear about the transfer? Soldier, what happened and what did you just say? You are not a hunter by chance. Yes, you are right, but I beg your pardon. I will accompany you to the USSR. Hunter, of course. So it looks like a gate has opened nearby. Jin-Woo wondered if it's because of my sensitivity that I can feel it. And saw a very huge boss with hunters fighting him. Please do not take pictures immediately. What hunters do, how long they will fight, I want them to deal with him as quickly as possible. The hunters shouted, healer, healer, urgently. We are trying our best to make sure that the fighters do not budge. His defense is strong. We don't have many magicians. He came to see what was really going on. Their rank is too small compared to this monster. He can't deal damage since he's a tank in this battle of attrition. The hunter yelled at Amos that you were waiting for us to heal. You said you were a B rank healer. And why are you leaving? But she could not heal because the horror all remembered those events in the dungeons. If I retreat, I won't be able to return, she said. Even a week later, she had not overcome that fear. This was to be expected. Jin-Woo rushed into the fight. Compared to the boss I fought earlier, this one is one rank lower. If I can weaken his defenses, I need a blow that will break through this stupid stone. He picked up the broken blade with all his might and threw it towards the monster. If this continues, we will perish, shouted the hunters. The healer girls screamed that you want us to do our magic will soon run out. I still reached the monster. Yes, the attack worked, it is destroyed. We did it, we won, and the hunters shouted, but they didn't know what Jin-Woo had tried. Before, I didn't work for you. But now she took it and ours suddenly collapsed and didn't give anything that it then flew into him. This is what helped defeat him, and that it exploded the head of the stones. The boss who was able to withstand the attack of 10 was defeated by this broken blade. But who? Yeah, you talked to me, you saw who? He's here. There was just another hunter here. Oh, this is strength, this is destructiveness. I didn't think he'd die in one hit. Ego cool lower than I thought. Jin-Woo was exercising in his room when suddenly a nurse came into the room. I'm going out. I'm sorry. Not worth it, is my fault. While this patient, his body was the same when he came to us. You today, right out? Yes, of course. Do you mind if I have your phone number? Holding it out embarrassingly. No. Yes, if you don't mind, of course, she said. For the results that you send me later? Well, 1 second, and began to write down his phone number. Hey Suinji, you go to school that you don't sleep yet? I've been awake for a long time. Be careful of cars on the way. Jin-Woo told his sister. You worked, yes, a little. Your body has become toned, as I see it. You have become a little taller than me. Do men still grow after 20 or what? Stop talking nonsense and take an umbrella. It looks like it's going to rain and it's too big. This is a folding umbrella. It's not that big enough to make such a fuss because of this, sister, and put the umbrella in her briefcase. I think I'll go for a run later. My muscles have gotten bigger. There is no way for my physical condition to change in a few weeks. So this means that my status affects my body. As I continue to increase my strength, it is likely that my body is also changing. Maybe I invested too many points in strength looking at my characteristics. And what can be if I continue in the same spirit? I hope not a pumped body. Even having high levels is not good without balance. Similarly with other stats, as the energy between strength and dexterity is good, I'm a little into it. High health is also good. But the problem with intelligence seems to be related to magic. But do I need it? And suddenly his phone rang. It's from the guild, says Hunter Jin-Woo. Finally you answered the phone. Why didn't you answer earlier? Excuse me, something happened to me recently and I just got out of the hospital. Well. No wonder. Okay, Jin-Woo, I called because the rent is for a month. If you can't pay now, can I defer your payment for a month? It's okay, I'll transfer the money soon, and hung up. If I did get a double awakening, then I can make money. If I continue to grow at the same pace, I will soon be able to become a first-class hunter. Hunters defeat monsters and earn money from it. The higher the experience, the higher the rank, and the more money there is. Magic crystals to defeat a high-level monster. You need to enter the gate of the same level, thus there is more competition for D-rank or E-rank gates where mobs of low-rank hunters can enter. Therefore, E-rank hunters are not accepted into the guild. Even if it were the other way around, it would still be difficult for them to find a job. My guild rank is E, and for me, who has never walked a D-rank gate, that would be a harsh condition somewhere. People are chosen on the basis of competence, and then I still could not get rid of the title of the weakest hunter in the world. Should I do a good job and increase my rank? But reawakening turned into a wildfire. People love to gossip, and hunters a good topic. The more attention I get, the better I get paid. Well, evil looks will fall on me, and you say that there are hunters who can raise their abilities, huh? Over time, he becomes as strong as possible. I can't reveal myself until I'm sure. I'll make some money first. It would be great if I could increase my attack power first. He gathered his things and went to the gate where there was a cluster of hunters. I'm Wong, and what's your name? Jin-Woo. And you're E-rank? Yes, that's right. I know him, he is quite a famous person, said the man in the crowd. How about the question, the most hunter in the world? What the hell? He laughed at. Guys, stop it. Everything is in order. The most important thing is the quantity. Like I said on the phone, it's going to be hard for you since it's a rank gate, so you're exempt from fighting. But I'll pay you 2 million. He's a good deal to add to our roster, okay? Yes, of course, then sign this contract. There is a rule that when entering a C rank gate, there must be 10 people or will, and at least half of them must be C rank. Because of this, you have cases where the strength of the detachment is not how many people. I'm sorry, but it looks like we're both still green, the guy next to him said. I am Eugene Ho, 22 years old, and have a D rank. I was also called under the same circumstances as you. Hey man, what's the poser gear? Are you the son of a millionaire? What should I do? Asked Jin-Woo. Nothing special, just follow us and take care of the luggage. There is food, clothing and equipment, a first aid kit. Almost everything we need. Shall we go there without a healer? It's hard for you to understand, but we can take care of ourselves. We always do this, replied the commander of the detachment. The squad consists only of tanks and attackers. So he started reading the contract he was given to sign. I admit that I will not blame anyone else for any accidents inside the dungeon. They do not have a healer. It will be difficult to accept. Hey, let's go inside. We'll beat them anyway. Don't worry about it so much. It's time to go inside. You said you're E rank. I'll take care of you. Haha smiled at Jin-Woo while looking at the rich guy. Jin-Woo took the equipment he was given and went with the whole team to the dungeon. It seems that the construction was postponed quite recently. Just 2 weeks ago, the boss fled overseas with 9 billion won. Workers and sponsors are having a hard time. Why are you telling me this? The rich guy said. Is this bag too heavy? Will you be all right? Jin-Woo answered that everything is fine and he is not as hard as it seems. Thanks to the strength indicators, now such a mere trifle for me. There is no need to be so strict. Or is it normal for you to be so quiet? I think it's you talking too much. Am I boring you with my excessive chatter? People usually don't pay much attention to me. We have come, said the leader of the detachment. So they came to the entrance to the dungeon. Someone said that it was rather unusual to see such a portal. Are you sure this is a C rank gate? Something they are big. Are you saying the guild is unreliable? I have seen people go in and out of them many times. This gate looks big, but everything will be fine, right? Jin-Woo answers him that this is your first raid. The size of the gate is not so important. What matters is the magical energy that flows out of the gate. The guild determines the amount of this energy, and then assigns a rank. The guild takes care of the gates above the B rank, and the gates of the C rank and below are not so dangerous. Although it is true, this is my first pass through the C rank gate, Jin-Woo answered. Usually D or E rank hunters like me don't make enough money, so they can barely scrape together for weapons, let alone shields. Why then does this hunter have such good equipment? It looks like it makes good money. All are well equipped. This is very different from the D and E dungeons, the rank I was in before. They had already stepped into the dungeon. It was too dark there. The leader told Huang to shine some light. He created a flaming ball in his hand and everything became visible. Why are there no monsters here? Are there any dungeons without monsters? Jin-Woo heard some sounds. If there is no light here, it means that the monsters love darkness. It's not because they're not here. It's because they haven't shown up yet. It's usually not easy for monsters to live in dark dungeons, but if they are intelligent, then that's another matter. Does this mean that these monsters do not rely on sight and move in groups, live in darkness and rush into the light? They guessed that these were monsters of the insect class. Could this be an ant's nest? The sound was very close. There are too many tunnels. I can't see anything. Damn, stay close to me. They are right above us. There are too many of them. Someone directed their magic powers right at them. They started to fight with them. Jin-Woo just stood and watched them. C-rank hunters, they have a well-coordinated robot. With such a robot, they can assemble a team without healers. They were already fighting side by side. You guys take care of the right side. That's right, sir. This is because they always team up with no healers. This is a little disappointing. Are we going to come back after we clear everything at the entrance? This may take some time, so don't push yourself too hard and control your pace. Collect all the magic crystals. We will divide them into 9. Jin-Woo, you saved us, but how did you know that they would attack from above? I just felt it. You have heightened perception. It's nice that everyone took part in the cleanup, thank you. But it will be better if you do not pay attention to such trifles. Commander, go look at it, they don't have chopping wounds. It's not us that they feel that they were simply bitten off. And there are not 1 or 2 of them. It turns out they were like that even before our arrival. It means that there is a monster here stronger than these guys. It smells like money. Jin-Ho, this sword and shield are expensive, right? My father decided to play it safe when he heard that I was going on my first raid. I'm not sure, but you have to be careful. I have a bad feeling. Regardless of the rank, the dimensions of the dungeon are large. Depending on the circumstance, sometimes it takes longer, or it can happen. So it will only take a couple of hours before you get to the boss room. So you have to be very careful. This dungeon is built like a labyrinth, so we didn't have many battles, but it took some time to move. Jin-Woo was dragging luggage. I don't really need to get into battles, he said. For the sake of being able to make money without fighting, I thought it was a fair deal. Danger Lizard, suddenly a warning came to him. I did not know why it appeared, but the only thing I was sure of was my bad feeling was never wrong. The squad leader said it's been quite a while, but we still haven't found a monster with whole limbs. There are only defeated monsters. However, there must be a boss here, right? If it were not for him, the gates would not have opened to us. They lit the tunnel and were horrified by the fact that these ants were in cocoons, which are probably spiders. It was the boss room yelling for everyone to get ready. This is a jackpot of mana crystals. How many of them are there? But simply amazing. Isn't there so many of them? They can bring even more than magic crystals. Just look at this. We can get over 10 million won from them. I think even your little brother will envy you. Ignore me just because you got a high rank, and about me, your country, to America just because of the money? I can say that he still considers the elite in America. Do not think of me as a brother who will close at your feet. I will take advantage of this and increase my squad. This is the catch. Even if we split the sum, it will be 1 million won each. Gentlemen, I have an urgent question for you. The leader is a Jin-Woo contract. How can you replace? There is nothing written here about the division of the magic crystal. Besides the fact that you fell out of the monsters, what does it mean? Is it wrong to divide the mana crystals between 10 and not 9? Of course, we will be divided equally. I know this very well. But there's something to deal with first, with the big spider boss that hung over their heads. The boss of the dungeon. You must be well aware that if the boss is defeated, the gate will close, so we must extract and transfer the mana crystals before defeating the spider. Luckily, it looks like he's sleeping after she hit her stomach, which is the perfect chance to transfer the crystals. You brought the equipment. I'm sorry. Who would have thought that we would find crystals in a dungeon with a rank? And left mining equipment in the car, idiot. Didn't I tell you to get in the habit of carrying it around with you? It will be problematic for us. I'm sorry, but could you watch this place? I think we have to go and bring the equipment. You're telling us to stay alone in the boss room. It's all right. He's just sleeping. I don't think he'll attack you unless you invade his territory, and it looks like he ate his fill and is now sleeping. You said that this is your first time going to a dungeon, and also Jin-Woo's first time going to a C-rank dungeon. Trust me well. Don't think what will happen if we keep talking loudly. I have something to say to the others, so we go and smoke. We'll be back soon. And they left them in this room with the boss. According to the rules of the Siren Gate, at least the children of a person must enter, except for me and Jin-Ho and a squad of 8 people. This means that they have done this more than once. Once entered the rank gate in this way. This commander did it on purpose. Of course, there would be no need to fill these 2 empty spaces block the entrance to the boss room, he said. Rather than deliberately threw them into that room alone, the entrance was littered. They were left alone with the boss, these bastards said to Jin-Woo.